Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Yesterday we talked about fake Monster High dolls. Today we're going to be talking about the ones that didn't come out, and the ones that were altered before their final release. Prototypes, basically. The topic of prototypes in any shape and form is interesting to me, but primarily in doll form. You know, I just really think prototype dolls are interesting, and it's especially cool when you find people who actually own prototypes and post about them. It's just cool to see that people manage to get their hands on those things. But today we're going to be talking about some well-known prototypes, as well as some that I'd personally never seen before making this video. So yeah, with that, let us begin. I wanted to start with one of the most well-known ones, and it is the Getting Ghostly Spectra playset. Originally, this doll was not a solo release. She was supposed to be including this playset, which was themed around the Gory Gazette, which is her newspaper column. Or her website. Not her newspaper column, what am I talking about? But you guys know she renamed the Ghostly Gossip to the Gory Gazette. Way less epic name. But this playset was supposed to come out. It ended up being canceled because retailers were not ordering this playset. I don't know if a reason was ever given for why they weren't ordering it, they just weren't. But Spectra was the main character of Haunted, so they couldn't just not release her doll, so her doll did end up being delayed due to this playset's cancellation, and it hit stores much later on after she was released. Haunted Spectra ended up being distributed kind of poorly, but she didn't end up being too expensive online, which is good. I got mine at some random bum-ass store in the middle of Florida. I don't know why they had her, but they did, and that's the only reason I own this doll. I just think the story behind this playset's interesting, and basically it just shows how much power retailers have over doll lines, because if they don't order something, it gets canceled, and that's kind of how Mermaid High ended, if you guys haven't heard of that rabbit hole. Maybe I should make a video about Mermaid High someday. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to get this one out of the way since pretty much everyone knows about it. I just wanted to show these pictures that I'd personally never seen before. It's pretty cool. Another very well-known one is Yuna. This character was supposed to be sort of the bridge between Monster High and Ever After High in the canceled crossover movie, which I might make a video about that someday too, because there are so many clips from it. They're unanimated, they're just storyboard clips that are voiced over, and it's really cool, and I wish that it had come out, but it never did. Basically, Yuna was supposed to be a new character for that movie, and she would have gotten a doll. And she would have been pretty important. I think she was supposed to be a kitsune, a nine-tailed fox, and ultimately she just didn't get released because the movie didn't get released. The movie died, and alongside it, Yuna died. Which is very unfortunate because she's really pretty. Maybe someday if that movie ever gets made, it won't. We'll get a Yuna doll. We won't. But, you know, for now we can just cope and pretend that she got the time of day. She's really so cute, though. I would have loved for her to get a doll. Also, I don't understand why she was the bridge between the two schools. Cupid has been to both of them. Why wasn't it Cupid? This next one, Garrett Sander posted about in about 2020, I believe it was. These dolls seem to use mycene bodies, or at least mycene shoes. Not so much bodies, because these dolls do have leg articulation. But Garrett Sander, when he posted about these, he said that they used heads of a doll line that never got to see the light of day, and potentially bodies that also never got to see the light of day unless these are just Barbie fashionista bodies. But basically, these were the first concepts, or one of the first concepts, for Monster High as a whole. Could you imagine how differently things would have gone if this is how they looked? I don't know if they'd be as popular. They probably would have just been seen as, I guess another Barbie spinoff, because they really do look like Barbie. Basically, what Garrett Sander had to say about these, I don't remember because I last saw the post years ago, but I do know that he said that Frankie originally wasn't green because Mattel said that girls don't like green, but then when they showed these dolls to kids in testing, I think that's what it's called, testing? I don't know. But when they showed these dolls to kids and they said that that was Frankenstein, they were like, why isn't she green? So that's why Frankie got to be green in the end. I thought it was interesting. These ones are pretty fun to look at. I do actually like the designs here. Not for Claudine. Claudine's fashion sense is a mess here. It's giving G3. But Frankie and Draculaura stayed pretty much the same. and I think that's cool. So yeah, these are interesting, an interesting piece of Monster High history. They do count as prototypes. They do count. This next post is an alleged Skelita prototype and prototype sketch that I've honestly never seen before today. I just googled Monster High prototypes and this popped up under one of the images that I was clicking on. It's from Draculora on Tumblr, and it says, prototype of Skelita's original design shared by her designer, Natalie Villegas? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. She lost her bag design on top of her dress and her headband. They were replaced with a suitcase, new print, and necklace. I clicked on the wrong image. I do like this Skelita design. I really like the marigold headband. And overall, it's cute. This was a cute design, and I really would have liked for the Scaris dolls to have gotten these little purses, because this one's adorable. It's just a cute little bag. And I just think it's interesting to see a prototype of Skelita that I've never personally seen before. Let me know if you guys have seen this before. I personally haven't, and I think it's cool. While we're on the subject of Scaris, I also found this very interesting Genifier prototype that I've never seen before today. She is different in a few ways, primarily in the green lip color. Her skin is less gold and more of a yellowish tone. She has sort of, I don't want to say fins because that's not what they are, but she's got little things on her legs that sort of match her tail, and I would have loved for those to be on her final doll, but they unfortunately were not. Her headpiece is a lot more detailed as well. You can see that the red strings that hang off of each side, I don't know what to call them, I'm sorry, but the things that hang off on both sides are more wrapped around the stick. I feel really dumb for not knowing what this thing is called. Genifier is one of my favorite characters, but you can just see that they made it differently, and it's pretty cool. I love the detail. And there's also this prototype, this image of her prototype in the box. It's missing the headband. She has the fins. Yeah, she's got the fin things on her arms and her legs. Those are awesome. Why did they lose those? I found this on Amino, and it says, here is a few Monster High prototypes. Genifier originally had a purse, was more of a yellow color rather than gold. There was another variant found in her Amazon listing with fins, but were removed in her final doll. So, I really love this Genifier prototype. I've never seen her before today, and I think she looks awesome. I don't know if anybody's ever come across this prototype. Oh, I see her purse now. It's behind her dress. It's kind of hidden. God, this is awesome. I don't know if anybody's ever found this doll, gotten their hands on her, but I think we should make it a goal for this year, people. We gotta find this Genifier prototype. And when they do, they need to sell it to me. I will pay top dollar. I really think she looks awesome, though. It's just such a pretty doll. These images here come from the same post, and these are what are called a test shot, where basically they will take existing materials around the factory and use them to create basically a little prototype version, or a test shot, if you will, of a new clothing piece. As you can see, this Draculora has the same print as, I believe, a Claudine doll. But that's obviously not how her final dress turned out. They just used this as basically just as a test to make sure that they're able to create the pattern the way they wanted to, and they just used a different fabric. It's the same with Genifier. They made her dress, but out of different material. The flames are made of a random plastic. They basically just use what they have before sourcing the new materials to make the new doll and the new doll accessories. They sometimes also use different heads. Like, they'll just use heads that they have lying around, test the rooting on them. That's a very common practice. There's a lot of prototypes that exist out there where they have a different face. Like, for instance, I wish I had a picture of this, but I've seen a Draculora, and it's a Dawn of the Dance Draculora head, but she has the same rooting as a Sweet 1600 Draculora would. That's a test shot. This is another test shot from the same listing, well, from the same post. And as you can see, Frankie and Toralei have different lip colors. This is clearly a coffin bean Toralei head rooted with... I'm a nerd for knowing that. I'm a nerd for knowing that just based on the lip color. I didn't even have to think twice. But she has the Freak to Chic rooting. They used different materials to create her dress. with Frankie. I believe that's Picnic Casket's face. The light pink lips make me think that, but again, not sure. And with Genifier, I think that might be her Beach Beasties swim class face. No idea, but basically that's what these are. They're called test shots, and I think that they're really cool. I actually showed the same description that goes with this Genifier, and let me read what it says. It says that the Freak du Chic dolls in Scarnival Draculora are made from scrap fabric and Barbie cardboard as a box base, and they were found in Indonesia in a thrift store. That is really cool, honestly. Seems like in Indonesia you can find really cool stuff since there's a Mattel factory in Indonesia. It's pretty awesome. These were found years ago, though, like several years ago. I just wanted to talk about them because they are prototypes, and they're cool. The next one I wanted to talk about is this Operetta Prototype that Garrett Sander posted. I don't remember if this operetta was meant to be from a certain line. I feel like I remember him saying that her introduction was supposed to be the Classrooms line and this was supposed to be her Classrooms doll. All I know is that she changed a lot from this doll to her final release. I'm pretty sure the only piece that she ended up keeping from this doll is the piano bracelet. That is all she keeps. Honestly, though, those chandelier earrings that she has, they look awesome. She seems to have very similar tattoos to what she ends up with based on the arm that's holding the microphone. This is just a completely different look for Operetta. I don't know if Operetta would have been like as iconic as she ended up being if she looked this way. This doll kind of looks more like an inner monster in my opinion than an actual character. But it's an interesting piece of Monster High history. I believe Garrett Sander posted about this doll for Monster High Monday, which he used to do very often, but he doesn't do it anymore. I wish he did, because it was so cool seeing all the fun facts about Monster High, the unreleased dolls. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun segment that he would host on his account. I think that this doll is interesting. I feel like with Operetta's finalized color scheme, she would have looked a lot better. A short-haired Operetta release would have been super cute, especially one with flat bangs like that, because she usually has curled bangs. It would have been unique. It would have stood out. But with this color scheme, it definitely doesn't feel like the Operetta that we all know and love. It's still very interesting. I really like seeing this prototype because you can really see how far her design came, because it's miles apart from this. They look nothing alike. So, with all of this, we've basically just scratched the surface of Monster High prototypes because there are so many out there. I was going to cover some G2 stuff, but I ran out of time with this video. If you guys would like to see more videos covering Monster High prototypes, I'd gladly make some. It's fun to do some research, look up what I can find about these, and basically tell you guys what I found. It's fun. So, yeah. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, let me know. And as always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!